Hello, I'm Peter Valentino for Shaman Smith. What I want to speak to you about today is GMOs versus organic food. Right now in America, GMOs are not labeled. And if you think GMOs are just the same as regular food, what you should do, or what everybody should do, is go to Google Images and just put in GMO-fed rats, or GMO-fed pigs, or GMO-fed mice. You'll see that here we have rats with cancerous tumors all over their body. Now, it's approved by the FDA, and these GMOs come to us from Monsanto. They are the primary purveyors of the seeds, and they have patents on them. And then you have to look at who is in charge of the FDA, and it is a Monsanto man. So now we see that seemingly our health is not as important as the welfare of this one corporation, Monsanto. When you look a little deeper, however, you'll start to notice that this is a form of attack against the American people. It will, at its endpoint, eradicate organic farming in America and destroy the plants and vegetables and foods that were made for us by Earth, and give us instead these cancer-producing foods. Now, what I want to talk to you even goes further than that, into what I call the cancer pressure cooker. So now we have GMO foods, which are being supported also by the fact of chemtrails across the U.S. The chemtrails get rid of organic farming, or they damage organic crops, and then they do not damage GMO crops. So the end point of that is, if we keep using the chemtrails in conjunction with the GMO seeds, all the organic farms will be eradicated in this country, and we will be taken over by GMOs. GMOs are all over your grocery store, and they are not labeled, so that you can't tell if a product has GMOs in it. This anti-labeling concept was put in by George Herbert Walker Bush under his presidency, which gave blanket permission to Monsanto to produce and distribute their products without the American consumer even knowing. So the same thing that that those rats, the GMO rats that you looked up on Google Images, are eating is what you're eating too. If you go to any kind of Jack in the Box, McDonald's, any fast food takeout place, all the food is going to be laden with GMOs. The bovine growth hormone will be in the beef. That's another Monsanto product. So what you're eating there is food that has been destroyed. It is cancer producing. And you could think of any outlet of fast food as just being another, like a pre-emergency room. You know, it's part of a hospital. If you eat that kind of food, you will end up in the hospital. The cancer statistics in this country are just amazing. The amount of people who are getting cancer, and it's skyrocketing all the time. And I've just told you a couple of the reasons for this happening. Another of the reasons is that people are uneducated in terms of the kinds of foods that they should eat. And a lot of work is done in our government through the FDA and USDA to put forth foods, to subsidize foods that are bad for you. High beef, the high fructose corn syrup, which is now completely GMO laden, all the bad foods, the sugar cane, all that kind of stuff is subsidized by your government. You're paying for that with your tax dollars. So if you go to a fast food restaurant and it seems to be cheaper, or the non-organic foods seem to be cheaper, it's because you're supporting that food with your tax dollars. And this is another thing that pushes out organic farming. So now, why would I be concerned with organic farming? Organic fruits and vegetables are the basic things made by our Mother Earth, and that is what we're supposed to eat as humans. The organic foods don't have pesticides. The GMO crops can take tons of pesticides. They just slather the pesticides on that, and of course you're eating it too, in conjunction with the GMOs. So not only, well, let's say a decade ago, all you had to worry about was the fact that when you eat non-organic foods, you're eating those pesticides, and the non-organic foods have half the nutritional value of the organic foods. But now, enter GMOs, you have not only all the pesticides there that were there 10 years ago, but you also have the cancer-producing aspects of the genetic engineering that occurs in GMO foods. This has not been tested. In terms of the USDA, it's said that, or the FDA, it said that it's the same thing. And if it were the same thing, then it's hard to understand why that Monsanto is able to get patents on their products. All these GMO seeds are patented, and it's another way that they have of taking over organic farmers, because if a person next door, if a farm next door to a GMO farm takes the seeds that are created from their crop and plants them in turn, then Monsanto can sue them for patent infringement. And that's just another way of destroying organic crops in this country. So what are we going to do about it? The first thing we have to start doing is all eating organic food. It's something where it's now just a hugely important choice that each of us as Americans, as people across the world, have to make. We have to improve the market share of the organic farmer. We have to think of ourselves as improving organic farming by buying it all the time. When I shop, and I shop at a major grocery store in Los Angeles, I shop at Ralph's oftentimes. They have a very good organic vegetable section, a few other organic things throughout the store, but in general, it's mostly GMO-laden food. This food is sold to us as if we're babies, as if we're children. Oftentimes, there's red or yellow happy packaging. And all the fun food concepts and all those things, we have to grow up past fun food and be aware of our health and our children's health. What are we giving to our children? Knowing that the children of America are rapidly getting sicker and sicker. This kind of food attack that's happening to America is really starting to have an impact on our children and their health. And who knows what kind of consequences this is going to have in the future. This could be thalidomide, which was a chemical given as a pharmaceutical that caused huge birth defects. We don't know right now what the endpoint of the GMO, eating GMO food is going to cause. But again, if you just look at those GMO rats, you should know right away you don't want to eat these. Okay, so how do you know? First of all, you have to eat only organic. If it says organic, or if it's got a label from the Non-GMO Project, that's really important. So now you have to be a wise shopper. We can't be children anymore. We have to grow up and be wise adults, especially since we're in charge of looking after our children. So we have to make sure that our children never get GMOs, that they only get organic food. You have to be selective in your choices. I'm going to do further documentaries and work on being able to discern and decipher good food from bad food. And it's that cut and dried. Go to your supermarket the next time you go and start looking at the labels. If it doesn't say organic or non-GMO, it is probably GMO. About 90+% of the corn produced in America is GMO corn. All the high fructose corn syrup is going to be GMO. That means anytime you have a soda, anything like that, it's going to have, you're going to be taking in GMOs through the high fructose corn syrup, which in itself, even if it weren't GMO, it would be poisonous to you. So in summation, I just want to appeal to you as the people of America, as the people of the world, to stop taking it from these people, from Monsanto, who's hugely in bed with your government. It goes beyond the U.S. government to the point where it's an actual form of warfare against us that is extremely destructive of our people. Let's nip it in the bud now, and let's make a change. Thank you. I'm Peter Valentino for Shaman Smith.